Welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching my video. We're going to talk about raising your credit score, an old-fashioned prosperity spell, and a few other things. How to pinpoint a blockage. So let's jump right into it. My pamphlet, which you can get in the description, and I recommend you get the Kindle version. I spent years letting my desire for perfection block me from doing anything. Now I need to make another book. Like I said, I recommend getting the Kindle version. It's easier to read. Everything in life's a work in progress. Don't hold yourself back. I spent at least 2 years having the YouTube channel and not making a video because I want to thank all my fellow gurus, Jake Ducey, Tarek Beebe, Angels with Fran, Ralph Smart. They inspired me and they work. All of them have in me, we all have something different to offer that's going to resonate with you, someone else. Your energy is going to resonate with someone else's energy. But I spent years thinking about doing this, and then it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to. But then I said, you know what? Put it out there. It went from in here to being real. It is now real. Now I can put it in my link in description and you can click on it and you can choose to read it. And there are some old things that still work in here. Well, there's 2 things I want to talk about. Yesterday, I called. Now you can call these debt collectors. I had to make more than one phone call. I got a call, and yeah, you're going to have to try and dedicate an hour to this, at least an hour. I called, but before I called, I said, give me the right person that will give me the best settlement on this debt, because you can call and request a debt settlement. Now, the first thing they're going to try and do is get you to pay it all. No, can't do that. I couldn't yet. So, you're going to have to haggle with these people. No matter who you get. That's their job. They're bill collectors. Their job is to get the most money out of you that they can. And your job is to pay the least money that you can. Because obviously most of us are in debt because, well, different reasons. The debt, I paid 2 debts yesterday. 2 debts. One, though, and this energy, remember, working with the current energies. Right now, Saturn's retrograde. It's a heavy year. It's the black water tiger. Heavy energies saying take responsibility. I had a debt that I let my temper. I got mad at this cell phone people and I quit paying the bill and I went to another company and of course it went on my credit. And I spent years being resentful. That's negative, low vibing energy. So I decided, instead of getting my hair done, okay, priorities, trying not to jump off too far here, but that's another thing our culture is very keeping up appearances. Oh well, paying this debt off is a much bigger reward for me in the future than getting my hair done. I can get my hair done in a couple weeks. I can get my hair done in a couple months. Stop trying to keep up appearances when there's things you need to do that in the future rewards. You will be where, hey, getting your hair done you won't have to juggle it. You won't have to say, gee, should I pay this debt or get my hair done? You'll just be able to go, boom, I won't have any debts. I can get my hair done. But taking responsibility. What debts do you have because you let your temper get the best of you? You spent money you shouldn't have spent, etc. Taking that responsibility. And that's this energy's year. This year's energy is Saturn, heavy energy. But I've dealt with this energy before, and I know the future rewards are going to be huge. Huge. Last year, I spent all of last year randomly thinking about getting a credit card with a certain limit. All last year. Just, I'd pop in and I'd see it. And then, boom, this February, I got two credit cards with more. Very close to the limit, but actually even more. I got twice as much. But it's because I've managed my credit cards that I do have. Oh, and I got another raise and another raise. But the hardest thing is the time. Like I said, yesterday before I called, I made sure the first thing I thought is get me the right person that is going to do what I am projecting. I am projecting a huge reduction in this debt. I own up to the fact the reason I have this debt is because of my own irresponsibility for this particular debt. I got the right person. Now, like I said, they're going to offer you the highest amount. You got to be willing to do the back and forth. Okay? Now, be willing, though, to say $100 a month. Pick one of your debts and be willing to say, though, be willing to invest $100 a month. Let them know you're serious. Okay, they do need to know that they have somebody that's willing to work with them, that you're not just, you have to be serious about it. And now the lady was like, well, if you pay $100 a month for 8 months, and I'm like, well, that's not, it's like, wait a minute, though, that's not reducing. I asked for a settlement. Oh, yeah, okay, well, let me talk to my supervisor. Okay. Then she says, she talked to her supervisor, was able to get my debt reduced. It went from $882 down to $333. That's when I knew, okay, this is what the spirit right there to me, that was the answer. Like, you better take this. But I still didn't jump right on it. I said, Well, luckily, this person offered me her direct number. Now, if they don't offer their direct number, if you have somebody you're working with that's working with you, I mean, it's a back and forth thing, okay? You gotta go with the vibe, you gotta go with the feeling. So, but I could tell this person was working with me, and she could tell I was willing to work with them. And she offered me, now she gave me her direct number because you have to be willing at least one time to go, I gotta think about it. I hung up and I was thinking about it, but then I thought 333. To me, that was my way of spirit communicating with me. That's what I took as the sign of like, this is the best you're gonna get. It went from $882 all the way down. So like, at least that's a big chunk. I'm gonna say 80%, close to 80% reduction in debt. And was it a sacrifice? Yeah. Most of us, these days especially, I'm not gonna say, these days it's a sacrifice, but it's a huge, the universe knows it's a sacrifice. The universe knows, and you're going to be justly rewarded though, because this is going to come off my credit's going to go up. And I paid off one small medical debt. Now, I have 100%. This is the thing. You've got to get determined. You have to put it on your calendar. Look through your finances. Find a way somehow to get that extra $100 a month to go towards getting these monkeys off your back, getting these debts off your back. And now is actually a great time to negotiate, because most people right now, I feel it. I'm not saying I don't feel it. I feel it too. The mass, they're really putting a squeeze on us, raising prices. So, our disposable income, and then they've raised interest rates. But you know what? This is the time to be calling and negotiating, because you're in a position, because there are not very many people. A lot of people right now are so afraid, and I feel it too, but fighting through that fear, because that's the best thing you can do. Don't be ruled by fear. Be ruled by determination. Okay? Just do it. Just do whatever. This is only my first, I'm calling it a pamphlet. Maybe I'm calling it a pamphlet, but this is a step towards a book. I did it. It's not just in my head anymore. It's not perfect. My videos aren't perfect yet. And if you listen to all the other fellow gurus out there, all of them started. Tarek Bibi was in a park living on public assistance before he got his big breaks. One of the real estate guru ladies said she got a divorce and was living in her parents' basement. Another one said, same thing. She got a divorce and was down on her luck, but she kept going. She kept seeing the future reality, and it happens. Jake Ducey said he failed a couple times, but now he's big time. So don't let your, whatever it is, like for me, I am putting on my calendar, this is the next date, I'm going to pay these 2 bills and these 2 bills, or this bill. I'm taking 2 pickaxes to the mountain. I am determined that at the very latest, by next year, my gosh darn credit score is going to be effing good. At the bare minimum. If not sooner. I just put it in my mind. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to allow that. Do you really have the money? No, you never really. Nobody wants to do it. That's why it is things are the way they are, because they know human nature. Our human nature is, I want to get my hair done. I'm going to get my hair done. Screw it. Don't sabotage yourself. Don't allow your basic, that childish part of you, the childish part of you that, it is a sacrifice, but that's why you get the rewards. You get your credit cards right now. Number one, especially with interest rates going up, everybody's advising, do everything you can to get your credit cards paid off. Even if you just put an extra $15 towards it, just do that. Every little bit. So my next is I put $50 on my one credit card. I've got this here. I've got one that's woo and another one that's woo. I got 2 ones that I'm just putting like I am. I'm only making the minimum payment on 2. But I got 2 that I'm going to get paid off. And then I'm going to focus on those last 2. Okay? But just remember, don't slide back. Okay, keep at it. It takes a year. Give yourself a year. Give yourself a year, and a year seems so long. But try to rise above it and go, wait a minute. In the big picture, if I spend this year, like I did way back before this book was, just a glimmer in my imagination, because when I first had that, when I saw that credit score of 410, thank God for my dad that he was the one who told me, and I'm hoping, like I'm excited. Every time I make a video, I get excited because even if I only help one person, it makes me feel good. Because I needed my dad to say, that's a defeatist attitude. You're never going to go anywhere. Where'd you get that attitude from? You didn't get it from me. You're your mom. La, 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 la. And then I was like, he reawakened my spirit. That's one another thing. I love me some me because I know my purpose. I know my purpose. My purpose is to help my fellow man. Going off topic here a little bit. But that's the thing that we as a people have forgotten. People, we're all humans. For thousands of years, we hunted and gathered together. We wouldn't, 1,000 years ago, we wouldn't survive. Because we all had to get together and plow the fields together. We all had to hunt together. We all had to build together. Before all this modern stuff and this modern materialism of you're a better person because you drive this car and you have a Rolex and blah, 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 and all this brainwashing, Okay? All this commercialism and materialism, we've forgotten that as a species, we need to work together to make things better. Even if it's just little tiny stuff. Just every little thing you do to help another person, you're really helping yourself. So try and remember that. Try and remember we're all in this boat together. Even if you just smile, who cares if nobody else smiles? You know, who cares? You can raise the vibration. Raise your vibration, because when you're getting rid of debt, you're getting rid of stagnant energy that's holding you down. And try, like today, okay, I paid off 2 debts yesterday. Lo and behold, I got like 4 bills in the mail. And I had a moment of, and I'm like, nope, we got 2 bills paid. We're going to get them paid. We just have to keep at it. Keep at it. That's number 1. Get determined. I cannot stress enough to get determined. Put it on your calendar. This day, like I picked the full moon. Every full moon, at the very least, I'm going to take $50, put it on a credit card, a bill, a credit card, a bill, and boom, boom, boom. Okay? It's going to be done. And by next year, at this time, my credit scores are going to be good. Put that out there. Don't allow that negative energy that wants to hold you back and hold you down. No. Just go, okay, I will get to it. I will. The thing is, do it. Stop holding yourself back. And like I said, pick up that phone, my free annual credit report, and go through it. Because way back when I had that 410 credit score, it was because I had stuff that was 8 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old. Okay, they don't care. Now, it's not, that stuff isn't supposed to be on there, but it's our responsibility, your responsibility to fight them. That's what it is. It's a battle. It's a war that you can win, though, if you put your mind to and don't allow your own human nature. I mean, we're all have our things. Most of us, and they count on it. They count on, instead of taking the responsibility and making the sacrifice, we're going to take the easy. We're going to take those momentary pleasures, getting your hair done, going out to dinner, buying stuff that, well, in 6 months, that new pair of sneakers is going to be old. The powers that be study us. They're us too. They are us too. Okay, they're human, even though I don't know. They're just whatever. Who cares what they are? The thing is, they study us. They know that most of us are going to be like, oh, that'll be there next week. That'll be there. Well, there's nothing I can do. No, there is something you can do. You can pick up the phone. You can say, hey, I'm calling to arrange a settlement. And it's not, their job is to get the most money out of you. And yesterday I started getting a little bit of a toot. I started going, because the lady kept, blah, 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 and I knew, I was like, no, this is what I can afford. This is what I'm willing to commit to. Oh, so for 8 months you could pay $100. And I go, well, that's not a reduction. I go, I thought you were willing to offer me a settlement. And then she got quiet. Well, let me talk to my supervisor. Okay. Then I hung up and I thought about it. And I thought, you know what? Do it. Do it. But you got to know, like, before you go doing stuff, make sure you can. I'm not saying if you can't eat, if you can't pay your rent. I mean, if you are in those dire straits, obviously eating and paying your bills that you already have. But let's face it, most of us fall into the trap that I had to break myself out of. And that's the thing, we're always be learning, always being okay with like, hey, you know what, don't be really so hard on yourself, but accept like, hey, like I said, I'm still a perfectionist. I still, you know, have my vision that I'm working towards. But if I'd have never just done it, okay, I wouldn't be on here talking to you. I'd still be sitting and, oh, I really want to do this, but I don't have the camera and I don't know how to do this and I don't, and no, 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 no. And I never do it. And I have, thank you to all my subscribers. And please like and subscribe. And feel free to ask me questions. And I will do my best to give you an educated answer. And of course, check it out. It's not perfect, but there's still some things that are relevant in there. There's still some very relevant information that I learned the hard way. All right. So, like I said, make the phone calls. Be willing to dedicate the time because it is going to be, like even I got exasperated and I let the lady know, after about 20 minutes and I'm like, I called for a settlement, okay? Don't let them distract you. Because like I said, when the lady was like, well, okay, how about $100 a month for 8 months? And I go, no, I go, that's not a settlement. I go, that's not a reduction. And then she knew like, no, this person, I'm not going to fool this person into paying the same amount of money. So remember, it's a back and forth. And you'll know. Now, that's the other thing now. You'll know when you have the right person, but don't give up. You got to make more than one phone call. You're going to have to make lots of phone calls. You're going to have to dedicate the time that's going to take to get through the mountain. But just remember, like our ancestors, they got through mountains, literally. So now we're going to talk about the fun part. Here's an old-fashioned mint spell. The yin. I love mint. Mint's an old-fashioned prosperity magnet. I have two big bushes right out front, my front door area. So I always want prosperity coming. I'm willing to accept and receive. And I know a lot of people say, oh, like I remember thinking, of course I'm going to accept and receive. But until you start experiencing it, there's a surreal feeling and you have to embrace it. Embrace it and hold on to this is my reality. This really works. This really happens. So, some old-fashioned mint tea. I pick some mint off my plant that I grow. It's a hot water and boil it. Now, this cup made me think of my grandma. I believe that she and all my ancestors are all up there working for us. I believe that. You have to believe. You have to have an anchor. You have to have some anchors on this earth plane. You have to be willing to put in the work. Yeah, I call it the yin and yang. I have a couple people that are atheists, and I'm willing to try and stretch my mind. I'm reading some books they suggested, and it's good to stretch your mind. It is. And it's good to be reminded that yes, we have to be anchored. We have to work on this plane, this earth energy. But I also have experienced the supernatural, whatever you want to call it. I've experienced it. Maybe the thinker thinks, the prover proves. But there's just been too many. Like I said 200, somebody asked me how many, and I'm like 200, but I don't know. That's just a low estimate, really, of how many things that go through my mind. Like I've forgotten more until I really start thinking of, oh, that happened, and that happened, and that happened, and that happened. Like, so it works, but you have to be okay with some things like working on your credit. Like I said, it could happen faster, but be willing to go this year like this is the perfect year because the energy is so heavy. The energy of responsibility, the energy, just that Saturn retrograde energy. But this is the year to work with that energy because those rewards, when they finally come, they're going to be huge and long lasting. Today's Juno and Jupiter's day, Thursday, the Roman god and goddess of prosperity. And we still got a little of the full moon. We got about 3 days of full moon energy to work with. So I went and picked my mint, put it in some hot water, let it steep. And now, I'm thinking about embracing being happy, just getting that vibration raised by being happy with what you have, managing what you have, but being happy, just being happy. Like savoring that nice fresh mint taste in the tea. Remembering, how my grandma taught me how to make it. Being happy that I can make these videos. Last Wednesday, I was in the emergency room and almost died. Thank you, Ralph Smart. I'm so happy and grateful to be alive. Yes, be happy to be alive. Be happy and grateful, just feeling that energy. Feel it. Like I feel it. I feel excited. I feel like this is the video that's going to change someone's life. Be happy. That makes such a huge difference. Being happy, being determined, feeling that fire again. Thank you. Many blessings.